Hi, and welcome to Craft Along with Jay. I am so happy you can join me today. Today I'm participating in the What Would You Make challenge, and the hosts are Rustic and Lay's DIY and Divine Designs. I'm so sorry. And the guest host is Lady Red Crafting. And the theme for today is just make anything out of wood in any sort of way. All right, project number one. You'll need some tumbling tower blocks, one of these little wall stickers from the Dollar Tree, a wood round, and some plaster. And I do have some wood beads, but I'm not going to use them. I liked it the way it was without adding those. And then some antique wax. And the first thing we do is paint the wood round with plaster. And after that, I'm using 59 um, Jenga blocks, and I'm going to paint those all the way around with plaster as well. But I'm ending up only using 58 of them, just a reference. It may depend on the size of your wood round. And here, oh, I went straight ahead. I added the little wall sticker to the middle of my wood round. It was just easy. It's like peel and stick, and you just add it on, and I just used some um, Mod Podge around the edges to seal it in. And then I'm taking my tumbling tile blocks or Jenga blocks, and I'm just adding some wood glue at the very bottom of the block and then some dot of hot glue on each side. And I'm just lining them up at the bottom of my wood round. And then I'm sealing it with a little bit more hot glue on the inside. And that's what it looks like when it's all finished. 58 tumbling tile blocks. And then I decided to use some of this nautical rope, and I'm going to add it all the way around on the bottom part of my little tray. And I'm just using some hot glue to attach that. Like so. And my nautical rope is not quite long enough to make it all the way around, so I am cutting a piece from another one, and I'm just going to add that. And it's going to be on the back of the tray, so you won't really notice it when it's sitting out. And then I also decided to add some on the inside of my tray, and I'm going all the way around. So my wood decor pieces today is going to be on the Shabby Chic theme. Just a little bit different than what I'm usually making, and I'm loving it. I think it all turned out so great. So, but anyway, yeah, we just keep on going. And then I also decided to add some more on the top part of my tray. So it has a double layer on the outside at the bottom and the top. And I'm just hot gluing that all the way around as well. There we go. And don't forget, if you like this video, just give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment. I would really appreciate it. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you'll get notified every time I upload something to YouTube. And here we go. Now I'm going to antique wax the whole thing. Just not too heavy, but enough you can see that it aged a little bit. And I'm just dabbing off the excess of the antique wax. And then I'm just gonna just very gently apply it all the way, even on the nautical rope, making sure that there's no glue strands on the inside. Used a lot of hot glue, and those strands are like everywhere. Yeah, and here I'm just going at it. Gives it a nice age look. And I love the roses in the middle. I haven't seen them at Dollar Tree since I bought this one, which was quite a while ago, but I really like this one. All right. And this is what it looks like when it's all finished. Let me know what you think about this one. Leave me a comment down in the comment section. All right. Now we go into project number 2. And here we need some nautical rope, some burlap ribbon, a flower pick from the Dollar Tree, and some scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby, and a bamboo cutting board. I know it says bamboo, but if you go on Dollar Tree's webpage and you click on the bamboo cutting board, it under the product details, it does say this is wood. So maybe it looks like bamboo, I don't know, but it does say wood, so that's why I used it. Just wanted to clear that up. And here I'm just adding some glue onto my cutting board, and I'm going to add my scrapbook paper. And then I'm just using my X-Acto knife to cut all the way around. And then I'm just sanding the edges because a little bit rounded. It was easier just to sand that off. So that's what I'm doing right here. And that's what it looks like. I like that scrapbook paper. I think it's pretty. So what I'm doing with my burlap ribbon, I'm gonna scrunch it up. So like I'll take a piece and pull it back and overlapping it a little bit so it looks like folds, sort of like a ruffle. Yeah, like that, a ruffle. And I'm just adding a dab of glue between the ruffles just to hold it in place. And it's easy to hold it in place because this is wired. And I'm using almost a whole strand, pretty close. Going to use enough to make it around the cutting board. So I'm just going to see what it looks like. And that's about how much I need. And then I'm going to start gluing it to the back of my cutting board, close to the top. Just make a line and then just add it close to the top, like so. And then I'm just going to go all the way around. And they're pretty easy to turn around the edges because it's rounded. Gives it a nice little shabby chic look. All right. Guess I didn't need to leave all of that in. It's just gluing it all the way around. Pretty easy and pretty simple. And then when your meat touches, cut straight down, add some glue, and then when I flip it around, I kind of attach the overlapping part at the bottom, just with a little tiny dab of glue, and you can't even tell. And then I'm going to take my nautical rope, and first I'm kind of just gluing the edges together so it doesn't fray. And then I'm gluing it around the edge, all the way around my cutting board. That will cover up that part between the paper and the ruffles. Gives it a nice look as well, more of a finished look. We just do that all the way around. All those glue strands. Now just give a little dab at the edge, the end of my nautical rope, just so it won't unravel or fray, anything like that. And that's what it looks like. It already looks super cute. And the next step is I'm gonna cut my stem. I'm gonna use all of them, but I need them shorter. So I'm just cutting them right here. Then I'm just figuring out if it's the right length and if they lay all right on my little cutting board. And then I'll take some jute twine, add a little dab of glue to my stems, and then wrap the jute twine around like a little bouquet. And then I'm just wrapping all the way down to the end and covering the stems at the end as well. And then I also ending up taking another small piece of jute twine, and I'm going to move up a little bit. I thought it was down a little too far, so we're going to go upwards a little bit. Then once I've done that, I'm just kind of laying it on my little cutting board, figuring out the placement, and then I'm just going to add some hot glue and hold it into place right there. And what do I do next? Oh yeah, I'm holding up to check it, and the flowers are not falling forward, but I kind of fluffing a little too much. So I just give it a little dab of glue here and there to hold the stems in place without it looking flat, if that makes sense. So it's still moving around, but it's not floppy. And some of it is just like a little tiny bit of the leaf that I'm tapping down a little bit. Yep, like so. And then I'm taking some more jute twine. I'm going to go around my 4 fingers. Oh, I don't know how many times. 6, 7, 8 times, something like that. Then I'll cut it and pull it off my fingers. I'll cut another piece of jute twine and then pull it off and scrunch it in the middle. And then I'm going to tie it with some jute twine to make a little bow. I'm giving it a double knot so it's not going to untie itself. And then cut the extra ends off because we're not going to need those. And then give it a tap of glue and glue it onto the top of the bottom of my stems where the jute twine is. And then I just found a little button to put on top in the middle of the bow. And you'll see in the final reveal what it looks like. So this is project 3 and 4. So this is two projects, but it's going to merge into one at the end. You'll see what I mean. So first I'm using the small wreath ring from the Dollar Tree. You get 2 in a pack for $1.25. And then I had this ribbon already from Hobby Lobby. And I'm cutting 12 strips at 4 inches for the inner ring. So that's the inner ring is the one I'm going to work on first. And then I'm folding it in half and then folding it sideways. And then I'm going to cut it at an angle from the folded end to the unfolded end. And then it's a little tiny ducktail. I don't want them too big. So there's 3 sections to the wreath form, and each section will have 4 strips of ribbon in each section on the inner ring. So a total of 12. Just going to show you one more time. And I think I'm going to speed it up, I think. Yeah, so that's the second one. And this ribbon is quite thick, so I had a hard time cutting it with a little rotary cutter. So I ended up It would cut the fabric part, but where the wires were, I couldn't really cut it with that, so I had to use my scissors. So it gave me a little bit of extra work. But here I just uh, folded around the inner ring. There was a couple of wires sticking out that I needed to cut off. And then I'm going to add some glue just to the top part of the ribbon and glue them together. So they're kind of looped on that inner ring. Yep, like so. So I'm going to fit 4 of these, and they're going to end up being scrunched up a little bit, but that's what I wanted. I didn't want them straight. So that's why we're going to need 4 in there. And then there's 2 sections left, and we're going to do 4 in each of those as well. Yep, I'm going to go all the way around, and then I'll show you what it looks like, and that's what it looks like. And I've started the middle ring, and in the middle I'm also going to do 4 pieces in each section at 4 inches. So the same as the inner one, and that's what it looks like. It's already looking super cute. And then on the outer ring, it's 6 inches and 5 ribbons in each section because I want it to stick out a little bit more, give a little bit more definition. And then I got 6 little beads. I'm going to paint them with, I think it's Eminent Rose. And while that's drying, I'm going to take 5-gallon paint stir sticks from Walmart. And I have 10 laying across, and then I'm going to glue 2 on each side. And I'm going to use Type Bond wood glue. And here I'm lining them up so they're straight. And you can see I have a flip-flop each stir stick. So it's straight on one end, and then you have that little indentation on the next one, and then I flip-flop all the way up. And this hack with the masking tape to hold it together, picked it up from Kathy Joe over at Kathy Joe DIY. You should go check her out. She's amazing. But this definitely helps keeping things together and make it easier to glue as well. So here, this is 6 hours later. I've let it sit for a while, and then I've cut my other 2 paint purr sticks, stir sticks down to size so it can fit on each end. And here I'm just gonna sand it down because I had a little bit of splinters going on in there. And we wanted some smooth edges. And here I'm just lining them up, and that's what we're gonna use. Some more Tite Bond wood glue so we can glue those into place. Yep. And I'm just giving it a good amount, and then I'm going to spread it out with a brush and then line it up. And then I'm just using some clips from the Dollar Tree to hold it in place, but I end up using more. This is just to hold it in place while I get the other one done so it's not flip-flopping around. And here comes all the heavy stuff to hold it down. So this is the next day. This is my celery paint. The next is Eminent Rose and an antique wax. So the first 2 stir sticks are going to be celery. The next 2 is going to be Eminent Rose, and then the next 2 is going to be antique wax. And then I'll do the same on the other side with the celery and the pink. So here I have the celery down. And then I have the Eminent Rose painted down. And then I'm going to do the antique wax in the middle and on the uh, each stick on the top and the bottom. And now I'm going to take my vintage white and I'm going to dry brush it, distress it. I'm starting out a little bit and I keep adding until I have the look that I want. I don't want it too bright, but I want it to be, shabby chic. You show a little bit of the color in there and just kind of very chic looking, I guess. So I just keep going back and forth until I'm happy. And I really like how it turned out at the end. It's really neat. Yeah, keep on going. Give it a good amount of of the vintage white without covering up the whole thing. And this is what it looks like. It's a big difference, isn't it? But I love this look. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Then I'm just looking it over, making sure I have enough on that I want, and that's what it looks like. And then I got this little hook, one of those stick-on hooks. I don't know where it's from, which is one I had laying around. I'm going to add that to the top because I'm going to hang my little wreath on there. So that's why I'm kind of merging them into one. So two project in one. This is kind of what this ended up being. Then I got my little beads and I got a small piece of jute twine. And I'm just going to use some masking tape on the end and roll it up. So that way it's just easier to string the beads. And then I'm going to take the masking tape back off. It's a little bit of a struggle. I got it on there real good. And then I'm just tie it onto that crossbar right there, one on each side. And then I'm tying it. Just give it a nice good double knot. That's what it looks like. And then I'm going to hang it onto my little wood sign that I made. I think this is my favorite. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Let me know what you think about this one as well. Which one is your favorite? All right, and then to the finished view. Here we have the first one. I just put little candles in there. Gives it a nice little vibe. I think it turns out really gorgeous. And here it is just sitting up. So here's the one with the wreath and um, the wood part plaque, whatever it is that it's hanging on. I love this one. And then we have the last one, another wall hanging piece. I love this one too. So let me know what you think about these projects today. And I'm so happy that you could join me today. Thank you so much. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time.